Hello and welcome to Smack Talk with Alex Volkanovski. We are sitting here in Chateau de Volk, the ranch, we've called it. Unbelievable little property you got going here.
Mate, I tell you what, I love I know, we say farms. Is the ranch American?
Ranch is American.
It sounds cool, though.
It sounds
I do
much
love
cooler.
them, like going, yeah, come check out my ranch, you know what I mean? But, oh yeah, it's unreal, look at it, you know? It's a vibe, and we're running with the vibe.
Yeah,
Aren't we
that's
running
what we
with
do,
it?
man. We run with the vibe.
I mean, how's the get up I've got? I'm like full streetwear. I've got a cowboy hat. I'm wearing a diamond necklace. I'm wearing a Hublot watch, and I'm wearing slippers. Like, I don't know. So we're all over the place, but that's how we like to rock.
You know the only thing you're missing?
What's that?
Some goddamn air conditioning, bro. It's 300 degrees in
here.
here.
We turn the fan on for you.
Oh, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, appreciate it. I also want to say, when we roll up in here, you got potential, well, not even potential, going to be the next featherweight champion of the world, aggressive fighter, and your property is guarded by a chihuahua at the front.
Yeah, that's it, my mate. They do a good job.
Well,
Look,
we rolled right in.
I mean, realistically, having a dog, I guess that'll bite someone coming in is going to be good too. But I mean, you just let me know. I'm the one that they should be worried about. You get that little chihuahua barking, then I'm walking outside. They ain't worried about a big Rottweiler. They're worried about me walking outside. That's going to give me the alert, and I'm going to go and I'm going to fix them up.
That's the bunny.
Try me.
Nice. I'm loving the place, man. Hey, it's unbelievable. It's got me reconsidering living in the city. Let's talk, because it's been a big week for you. Finally, the fight's announced in Miami against Diego Lopez. How are you feeling about it all?
Oh, man, very stoked. So I sort of knew it was going to be Miami for a while now. But then it was like it was meant to be Ilya. We did the face-off, right? We did the face-off. We're in the octagon, ready to, thinking, all right, that's what it's going to be. It's probably going to be Miami. Then there was like, we don't know if it's going to be Lopez or Ilya. And I'm like, okay. And then by that time, I'm like, just give me a fight. So at least I knew it was Miami. But, because originally I wanted Ilya, right? I wanted Ilya. I wanted that rematch. I want to get that win back. But then it started dragging on. I wasn't sure what was happening. Was it going to be interim? Was it going to be for a vacated belt? I didn't know. So I was like, look, whoever it is, it is. But I mean, Diego Lopez is a very fun fight. It's for a vacant belt. So that's the next best thing. If I'm not fighting Ilya in the rematch, I'm fighting Diego for the actual belt.
Does Diego Lopez have the worst hair on earth?
I don't get it. It's
what
like
is happening, man?
I mean, what's it? It's like, it blows me like, at the front. So he's got a full mullet on the back, and at the front it's like, not your fault but mine. You know what I'm talking about? Like the full heart on the line. That proper like full emo at the front, and then just proper cowboy at the back. Like, I'm all for the cowboy part. But I mean, I'm all for, there's nothing wrong with the emo thing as well, but it's just like...
You don't have to worry about offending
as
the
soon as I see
him,
him, I just start singing.
The goth's a fair game.
Is it that? That's the song that I'm singing, right? I'm thinking, cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. You'll make me change my mind. Had to do that, sorry. I just thought of it. I had Lopez in my head. And that's what I mean. That's the vibe I get in front. And then you got this big mullet at the back. So good.
It's unbelievable. I just, like, as someone who fights with their hairline, and also I'm so happy to wear these little rancher hats, I reckon just commit.
I mean, you go there, but yours is like a proper. It's
a proper what?
I mean, it's like this good.
Hey, hold up, you were going to say.
I respect a good hairline when I see one.
Okay. Well, let's get. We got plenty to talk about, but let's get into the fights. UFC 313. We'll talk about the main card here. It kicks off with King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Now, Ruffy, upcoming star in the UFC, and you know what Dana loves? Dana loves a rising Brazilian. And he gets that here. And I get the feeling, I think you're going to disagree with me, that this is a bit of a bunny and he's set to win this fight.
Oh, man, look, I can see why you would say that. I've got my daughter trying to run in over here. But, no, I think I can see why you're saying that. But with King Green, I think he's very unorthodox. Even when he's losing, obviously he hasn't he's coming off a couple of losses, not looking the best. But... when some of the fights where he was sort of losing, when he did get knocked out, he was still looking good. He's still tricky. Like, I don't care who it is in front of him, he can still be a big puzzle. Ruffy, obviously, he's on a bit of a tear at the moment. There's a lot of hype around him. I just think King Green, like, I love an underdog. As I always say, I love an underdog. I've always been the underdog, and I've always proved people wrong. It ain't always the case, but I don't mind throwing a Ruffy in there. But it's not Ruffy today. It's going, oi! So it ain't Ruffy today. I just come up there with it. Like,
That's good. I didn't even pick it up until you started dancing.
But King Green, I reckon he can get it done. I think he's awkward, it's a hard fight. I think it's going to be a hard fight for somebody. I could be wrong. He could go out there and be as, the hype is real and show me. But there's an underdog with an unorthodox fighter like that. I love going on underdog, especially when they're unorthodox.
Unorthodox underdog.
Ruffy.
We're
with a Ruffy bet. Yeah. Mate, like we're all over the place in this one.
That works as well, the Ruffy bet. If you're going to take, what method are you going? If you're going King Green, what method?
What method? He could get the finish. I would probably go with decision. I think it's just awkward, and then maybe he ends up figuring him out, but loses a couple of rounds. I mean, he has been getting finished lately, but I'm going to go with King Green decision win.
King Green decision win with a nice little bit of flavour to it. You announced it right there. Love that.
Yeah, there's one of the underdog Ruffies.
Now, we had, Volk is our big guy. That's our big guy at Sportsbet.
Oh,
but we had, a guy who's not physically bigger, not as big as you. You're still a worldwide name, more so. But Rob Gronkowski came out. Oh. And the whole time it had me thinking, you went up one weight division and everyone's going, oh, this is crazy. This is unreal. How do people do this? People get 2 belts and people go crazy. What if you went all the way to heavyweight? Now, you might say, Felix, you're an idiot. Well, you say that anyway. But you might say, you're an idiot. How the hell could I get up to heavyweight? I can't gain that much weight. Gronk.
Oh, there he is.
We strap you to the front of Rob Gronkowski.
I reckon we could make that work. Why do I suit the baby so well?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I mean, like, I suit the baby very well. And I mean, it looks sort of real. I think that's sort of what it looked like if you did have me strapped to Gronk. So I reckon, you know what? I don't need him. I could do the heavyweight thing, mate. Like, it's funny because you say, oh, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. I am crazy.
Yeah, I could tell.
So you're saying you're crazy for thinking it, but I'm probably crazier, and I probably would do that if that opportunity comes to me. I'll do it.
Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo, strawweight fight. Lucindo is on an absolute roll right now. Where are you playing?
Yeah, so again, it's a tricky one. Momentum's a big thing. I'm always a believer in momentum, so I'm probably going to lean towards momentum here. But with Lemos, she's had some big wins. A win over Mackenzie Dern, that's no joke. Mackenzie Dern, she's known for a world champion grappling, right? She's a legit grappler, but even her striking has gotten so much better. She's actually got some pretty good strikes. She's pretty well-rounded. She's aggressive. She's tough. So to get a win over her means something. So that's why I'm like, look, again, I love an underdog pick and stuff like that. But I might go with momentum on this one. I think Lemos, again, like she's got some big wins, but I mean, the momentum, 4-fight win streak, that's going to be hard to beat when you're on a roll like that.
There we go. Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. Two fantastic names. Let's jump right to the next one as well, because this one I'm excited for, because I'm a lanky guy. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate lanky fighters, which is why I roll with Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes, the lightweight belt. How are you going that way?
I'm going to go with Jalen Turner. So I think Jalen Turner, again, very, very dangerous. He is coming off, was there a couple of losses? He's coming, I know Dan Hooker obviously got his victory. I know he's coming off another loss as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's still very dangerous. A great fighter, very dangerous fighter. So he's pretty well-rounded as well. He's got some good guillotines, darces. He can be aggressive with submissions. And he's pretty hard to take down still. And he's got some power in his hands. Even though he's, as you said, lanky, he's tall, he can still generate a lot of power, and he knows how to find the chin. So I'm going to go with Jalen Turner on this one.
There we go. I'm rolling with you on that as well. Now, I've been scouring Twitter throughout the week, and there's always a bunch of fight stuff comes up. And, as you saw with Gronk, you've been strapped to another man to fight. I always like, how can we just reinvent the fight game a bit? And I think in God knows where, they may have found a way to do it. Now, how interested would you be in this sort of contest that we've got here? Now, what the premise of this one is you've got one professional fighter and you've got 10 unprofessional fighters.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just watch this.
Okay. Oh, wow. See, it look. Oh, what? He just knocked someone out already?
He's gone.
I mean, good on him, because they are just random people, but they're not just like people that They still seem like half athletic people. But he's still doing well. Wait. So how many fighters were there?
I believe there was
there's
10.
a couple. So now there's 2 versus like 10. All right, the 2, you know what? That throws a bit of a spanner in the works. You know, you get me and someone, you can sort of have each other's back. You know what I mean? If I've got a cage, I reckon I could do it. But if I have someone else there that knows how to fight, I reckon we could do it.
What's the amount?
What's the amount of people?
What's the amount of people? Let's say let's go you and Dan Hooker versus relatively weak, relatively unathletic, relatively unimpressive in general. People of that ilk. How do you think you'd go? How many of them would it take to beat you?
Good question. And I mean, some people are like, you could imagine how many people, because a lot of people probably think they're a lot better than they actually are, in the real world. A lot of people think they can fight, and then, you see it on the street sometimes, like they're aggressive, and you're like, oh, this guy must be able to handle himself. Clearly can't. But that's just the world we live, where people can have egos, and so people are going to be unhappy with this. But I reckon me and Dan Hooker, remember, we're not heavyweights. So if it was heavyweights, you would be able to add a few more for sure. But because we ain't heavyweights, but they're still reasonably same size, I'm easily saying, I reckon we could do 3. I reckon we could do 6. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to be nice here. Are you trying to say more?
I'm saying you could take more than 6.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were trying to say
No.
less.
No.
And I wasn't going to get
Dan
upset
Hooker's
with
got your back, man.
I mean, exactly. I mean, I'm trying to be as realistic, but then I reckon that depending on how clever these guys are, I still reckon I can, do way more. I reckon that's where I'll be like, if these guys were good, 6. Like half decent. Like, I mean, half decent, sort of at least.
Know how to fight.
At least having a brains and a bit of common sense to try and, I mean, we're going to take away a lot of the common sense. People are like, oh, I've got heaps of common sense. Yeah, see if you've got common sense. When I'm swinging punches at you, your common sense might go out the window, right? So, take that into consideration. So everyone's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. We are coming swinging at you, you know what I mean? Like, you are in presence of someone ready that knows how to fight, take your head off. You're not going to be composed as you think you would be, right? So I'll do this, I'll do that. You won't. So, minimum 6, I reckon.
Minimum 6. But what about this one? You, John Jones, how many Danny DeVitos?
How many Danny
DeVitos would it take to beat you both? In an octagon.
So in an octagon too?
Yeah.
I mean, we're making it hard for them now. They're like, I mean, half, you can fill it up.
You could have felt like a bowl of Danny DeVitos.
All right, hear me out here. Hear me out. You can fill it right up. I mean, like, think of it full. Like, the more is worse for them. Does that make sense? More of them.
So you're saying a herd of Danny DeVitos
So
is
I'm
worse
saying if
than...
there was like, you could only fit me and the rest of them are Danny DeVitos, me and John Jones, the rest of them are Danny DeVitos, we are smoking the few that are in front of us. I mean, there's not much damage that they're going to do. They're not going to, I'm allowed to say this because I'm 5 foot. So I'm allowed to say this. Danny DeVito ain't touching, he won't even be able to harm John Jones. So, like, the guys in front can't do that. He might be able to reach me. Yeah, he would be able to reach me. Sorry. I mean, he's probably my height. He's probably taller than me. Eh?
No.
How tall
he's
is
little.
He?
Oh, he'd be, I reckon he'd
4
be...
4 foot. Nah, 5 foot.
I reckon he'd be a little over 4. He'd be 4. I don't think he's hit the 5s.
You don't think he's hit the 5s?
I don't think he's hit the 5s, but I think you are overestimating the strength and power and size of Danny DeVito. He's 5
foot. Okay, man. Look, I love the guy.
Yeah, he's great.
But I mean, you could feel that, like, in an octagon, like, there wouldn't be enough. If there was that same, say, in an octagon, they couldn't be done. And I'm being serious here because they can't, like, more than half of them can't even get to you. So you've got these few in front of you that aren't going to reach John Jones at all. Remember, we're wearing cups. And are they allowed to nutshot us?
They can bite.
Look at me getting right down into the details.
Danny DeVito's can bite. They're allowed to bite.
They're allowed to bite. Ooh,
yeah, that's a bit of a...
I mean, I could just, bang, done. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's... Wow. I can't believe how invested I am in this, situation. I'm like telling you, like, you could fill up the octagon. If it was on a farm and there was heaps of space, now we're getting difficult. They're coming from angles.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? You don't have your back against it and just front kicking a few of the Danny DeVitos in front of you. So it's in octagon, you can fill it right up. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Love
and
it.
we're fit. We're fit enough.
Huge shout out to Danny DeVito as well. Always
Love
Sunny
the
in
guy.
Philadelphia.
Love the
Fantastic
guy.
actor. By all reports, fantastic dude, but shocking fighter. And it's going to take an entire bowl of Danny DeVito cereal to even potentially...
And I'm getting into acting and I'm coming for your job.
It's co-main event.
All right.
Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I've called him every name under the sun. All I know is it doesn't say Dan Hooker there, which makes me very, very sad. But which way are you going? Fiziev the favourite in this one. Shocks me.
That does shock me. Obviously, Gaethje winning the first one. I mean, I'm upset about the Dan Hooker thing. That would have been a great fight. That was going to be so good. But this fight's going to still be so good. Do you remember the last fight? Like
It was fight of the night.
Mate, it was. They went at it, especially the first couple of rounds. The first round and that Fiziev was looking good, real good. But then that's his style, right? Very explosive. He's takes, he'll capitalize on opportunities, he will go for it. And they're going to be there. He's going to go there. They're going to fight that fight, and them opportunities are going to be there. Gaethje's probably going to want to tire him out, knowing how much Fiziev tired in that first fight. Is he going to try and pressure him and try and zap the life out of him? Which means he's going to get caught. He's going to get hit early. But that's what surprised me that he's a favourite, because we know he got tired in a full camp. Now it's short notice. It surprises me. But at the same time, and last fight was 3 rounds. Yeah, it was a 3-rounder as well. So it's the same fight with a short camp. But Fiziev, I'm telling you, I think we're going to see the same start to that. But how does his cardio hold up? Fiziev's my guy, so I don't want to bet against Fiziev. I like Gaethje as well, but I know Fiziev well. But I mean, it's just that short notice. But can he catch Gaethje straight away? 100% he can.
Is there an element
I
of
thought
this?
he'd be the underdog.
I was
ready to come in and be like, Fiziev, underdog, man, underdog pick. But then you're like, all right, because I want to give, the audience the best possible, because I'm biased. I'm always biased. Remember that every time. And remember that. That's going to happen. I'm going to be biased. But yeah, I still think Fiziev starts off early, very, very well. I'm worried about the later rounds. Remember I said that. But I'm going to go with Fiziev.
Is there an element of this being tougher for Gaethje taking this fight on short notice? People always forget that, when it's also hard on the person who was originally in camp to take this fight. Because if he's preparing for someone like Dan Hooker, who, and not as no offense to him, but he's a fairly one-dimensional, he's a striker. That's what he's going to go for. And now he's got to prepare for someone who's more of a two-dimensional guy, or three-dimensional guy. Is that a bit harder than at least Fiziev sort of preparing more for, he's a striker, that you know what Gaethje's going to do?
I mean, I don't think there's too much. I think even in the striking, Dan loves to throw the kicks, the knees, punches, all different ranges, you've got a different range of punches, like hooks, twos, whatever, like body rips. Fiziev has all those as well. But Dan Hooker's a lot longer. Yeah. And he will do that, but I mean, he will bring himself in a position which maybe for Gaethje probably could have capitalised, thinking in his head, this is where I can capitalise when we are scrapping. This is what I can do in these ranges because he's that little bit longer, and this is where it is. Now that's changed. Now he's got a small, compact guy that's going to be fighting that fight. But, does that make sense? A total different sort of, I wouldn't say style, but range of direction of where these things are coming from. Now, even your shot selection has to change, the height and everything like that. Very powerful short-range stuff where you're going to be like, all right, where I wanted to capitalise on these opportunities with maybe Dan Hooker, I don't know if I want to do with Fiziev. So it's a tricky one.
Let's jump into a game of this or that. Now, you might notice a trend.
This or that.
This or that. You might notice a trend when I go through these ones, all right?
Okay.
It's either going to be a college football player or something else.
A college
The
football
name of a
player.
college football player or something else.
And a college football player, you're talking about
American football.
NFL, like
American football. General Booty, football player or historical war figure?
Say it again.
General Booty, football player.
It's a trick question. It's got to be. I'm going to go. This is going to throw me right off the whole way if you did this. I'm going to go with a football player.
Yeah, he's a football player.
Okay, bang.
General Booty. Oklahoma, baby.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And that's what's his nickname?
That's
Surely
his name.
That's his name, General?
His parents sat him down and said, "That's our boy, General Booty."
General Booty.
White
I mean,
dude
like,
as well.
I forgot about the booty part. I'm like, General, that's hard. And then his booty there. I mean, they're probably like going, oh, you know, you've got a booty last name, so I'm going to give you something real hard and throw a general in front of it. I was like, all right, that's all right. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it makes sense.
General
It makes
Booty.
sense. Football player or local wrestler? Pig Cage.
It has to be a trick question. What is with these football players? You know what? No, now you're throwing a spanner in the works. I'm going to go with local wrestler.
Football player.
Football player. I mean, so you just said to me there's going to be a trend. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a trend. There's a
okay.
trend. Chicken Bristle. Football player or town in Illinois?
Say it again. Chicken.
Football player or town in Illinois? Chicken Bristle.
Chicken bristle. Far out. I thought I had this whole thing nailed. I thought I knew the direction you were going. You know, I'm going to go with town.
It's a town.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, you
Chicken
are throwing
bristle.
it. They're throwing spanners here.
That's what
you
we
know
do.
what I mean?
I'm too scared to throw a punch, so I'm going to throw a spanner. Football player
Quick.
or the first mayor of Wollongong?
Oh.
Squirrel White.
Squirrel White. That's got to be the first mayor.
That's a football player.
I thought you must have done. See, that's clever. Oh, look, I'm doing a research of your town. You know what I mean? I'm going to go and do my research of your town, your mayor, blah, blah, blah. And then just, nah, it's actually
How do you
not that
think?
great.
Like, they've given you the
So
keys.
I look too deep in things sometimes. It's just, I go way too
They've
deep.
given you the keys to the city of Wollongong, and you're going to go ahead and say that Squirrel White was the first mayor of this beautiful town.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tricky
Final
one.
one.
Okay.
Football player or Tasmanian delicacy? Tiger Shanks.
Tiger Shanks.
Tiger Shanks.
That's got to be a Tasmanian tiger. Yes, Tasmanian tiger. You know what I mean? And it's obviously they've got a tiger. Yeah, so that's a dish.
It's
you
a
know
football,
what I mean?
it's a football player.
Is it really? Yeah. Oh, wow. Use no, I look too deep into this and use the. Oh man, that's good. That's good.
And that's just the
See
start.
the
of it.
layers? I'll go full deep in the layers and use. How did you use? Did you know I'm gonna go? Oh, he's gonna touch on the tiger, Tasmanian tiger.
We went
He's
through the
gonna-
layers. Yeah. I knew exactly.
Is that everyone's thought
Is the
process
Tasmanian
usually?
tiger
You
still
reckon
alive?
that's everyone's thought process?
Is the Tasmanian tiger dead?
I don't know.
Is it still alive? It's not even an animal anymore.
Wait,
It's
wait, you're
extinct.
kidding me, right?
It's extinct, man. It's gone.
I don't know. There might be some around though. You know what I mean? Like, do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah, well, I've let to look out here. If it's anywhere, it's out in the bushes out here, and you're probably going to try to grapple with it. Okay, let's go. The main event for this
I mean,
one.
you could be with the bear and all that. It's like, yeah,
Hey.
have you ever messed with a Bigfoot? You know what I mean?
That's the one.
Tasmanian tiger as well, man. Oh man, that would be so good if they were still around. There could be some.
What do you mean it'd be so good if they were still around?
Not to wrestle, I just mean to see. I mean, they would have been. They're cool to see. Have you seen the footage? There's got like olden day footage of the last one. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah.
Like you think it's fake, but it's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want one. Put it on the farm. You know what I mean?
Hey, you keep fighting.
Protect my goats.
Let's hit the main event right now.
Okay.
Pereira versus Ankalaev. The fighter that some people call
nailed
Ankalaev.
it.
Some people say Ankalaev.
Wait,
I always
who
say
would call it
Ankalaev.
Ankalaev?
I don't know, some idiot. I think it was
Oh,
Ash
I-
Eurasian
yeah, I've got
who kept
no
calling him
idea who you're talking
Ankalaev.
about.
The light heavyweight champion here. A lot of people saying this is Pereira's biggest test yet.
Yes, it is his would be his biggest test for sure, 100%. He had Jan Blankovic. I'm glad to bring that up. So this is where I'm saying his takedown defense has been pretty solid. Is Jan Blankovic's wrestling as good as Ankalaev? No. But you've seen a lot of improvements in Pereira's takedown defense in that fight. Was able to get back to his feet, stop the takedowns to a bigger guy. And that was his first fight at light heavyweight. So keep that in mind. So Pereira is the favourite. He's very dangerous. If he can stop the takedowns, which I think he can, but I do believe Ankalaev might get it to the ground. Does he submit Pereira straight away? I don't think so. I think Pereira's going to be pretty hard to submit. I think he's going to be able to survive if it goes down there. But that's another big question, is if it goes down there. So I think that Pereira should be favourite. Earlier on, I was thinking Ankalaev was going to be favourite. And I think that was going to be fair. But then I'm like, you know what? I can see why he isn't the favourite. I can see why Pereira is. Obviously, he's on a tear, and everyone knows that Pereira can just catch anyone. Ankalaev loves his check hook from southpaw. It's like a go-to. I bring it up every time there's a fight. Every time he's fighting, I bring it up in my breakdowns because it's something he does every single time and I see it every time. So he loves to, as someone's coming in, it's like more of a defensive strike for him. You can't have these habits with someone like Pereira. He will capitalize on it and he'll capitalize it like that. He might even do it before you even, your first time you throw it, he's already made that adjustment. So I think, and then you've seen with Jan Blachowicz with Ankalaev hitting the inside of the calf kicks. So I'm getting real technical. I've got a bit of research on this one. So well, I don't know if you remember the inside calf kicks.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz. So I gave you Jan Blachowicz for both of them. Jan Blachowicz did very well with Ankalaev and smashed the inside of Ankalaev's leg, and he was really struggling with it. There's another little thing that Pereira will be able to do. You're not going to be able, Ankalaev, if he kicks, he's going to catch his leg. You ain't going to catch Pereira's leg. The way he throws it, he's very direct with the way he throws it. There's very, very small movement from A to B. And it's at the calf, you ain't grabbing it. If you start reaching for that, he's going to knock you out with his hands. So a couple of really key factors here on why I believe Pereira's can get the job done. But the wrestling is going to be a big factor. If Ankalaev's wrestling is too good, all right, everything I said is thrown out the window. All them details and layers that I love to get into, gone.
Things we have learnt today. The first mayor of Wollongong's name is not Squirrel White. Pereira to win by decision was the end go there. You want to own a Tasmanian tiger. And what does Diego Lopez like to sing?
Emo songs.
How do they go again?
Wait, let me. I always remember.
Because tonight will be the night.
That's it. We want to do that. We want to do that again.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Over again, don't make me change my mind.
That's been Smack Talk. Thanks for tuning in. You can find all the bets that Volk's just spoken about on the Sports Bet feed, all under Smack Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Perfect.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.